Well, I think it's fair to say for the last few days I've been sleeping. I have not been very well this week. I'm trying to get back to my best, guys. I wanted to do a career mode video today, but I just don't have the energy to play for 2 to 3 hours talking over the top and all of the editing. So I decided to do a video that I've wanted to do for a couple of weeks now. And that is, excuse me, that is to talk about the best signings that we've seen in the Premier League this season. In no particular order. My brain is just not working. It honestly isn't. There's going to be mistakes in this for sure. But I'll try my best. I've literally been asleep for like the last 3 days. I feel like it's gone from Monday to Thursday like that. But it also felt really slow. You know, when you're not well, everything just is so slow and so boring. And anyway, I've watched enough Tipping Point and The Chase to last me a lifetime. Right, let's get into the first one. Okay, so just remember, this is signings that have been made this season. So we're including the summer transfer window and the winter window as well. And no, this isn't a bias thing, but Trossard is the first player that I wanted to talk about. This was a signing we made in January after missing out on Mudryk, which was talked about for weeks and weeks and weeks. We didn't get him. And then we ended up getting Trossard, and it worked out very well. 24 million euros from Brighton, and he has been excellent for Arsenal. Really, really good. And actually, I'd argue, when we slipped up and bottled the league, if you want to call it that, those 3-4 games where we dropped points, it was coincidentally when we dropped Trossard. And I feel like, actually, we shouldn't have done that. He's been better than Mudryk has been for Chelsea. He was a third of the price, less than a third of the price, and he seems very Arsenal. Is it just me, or he looks like an Arsenal player already? It's as if he's been here for so long. I'm a huge fan of Trossard, and for that price, he has to be one of the best signings this season. If not, I think he might be the best January signing. I can't think of anyone else that's had that much of an impact in the January window. But of course, he's not the best signing. We're going to move on into the next one, and that is ESTUPINAN for Brighton. And it's, again, a very, very good signing for such a low price. But also, Brighton have so many good performers this season. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else they signed this season that's had as big an impact as ESTUPINAN. I think recently, is it Incisco? I can't remember, the young Paraguayan. But no, I think ESTUPINAN for 17.8 million euros from Villarreal. What a signing. He has changed their system down that left side. And you've got to remember, this is one of the reasons I had to talk about him. They sold their best player last season, Cucurella. Of course, he's gone off to Chelsea and hasn't really done so well. But ESTUPINAN has, I think he's improved Brighton. Cucurella was really good for them last year. But ESTUPINAN, I mean, when you make such a huge sale like Cucurella to Chelsea, it's so difficult to spend not too much money to try and replace that talent, to fill that void. And they did that. ESTUPINAN, really, really impressed with him. Up next, though, we have a midfielder that signed for Fulham, and this guy, PALHINHA, wow! 20 million euros from Sporting. He is an absolute diamond of a midfielder. He's so impressive, so commanding. One of the best tacklers I've seen. He just seems to get the ball. Every time he goes for a tackle, he gets it. He's very good at playing the ball forwards. He's very good at forward thinking, but he's also very safe, and he's a general. You know, he keeps the ball ticking, keeps the game ticking, whether it's a sideways pass, a backwards pass, or a forwards pass. He just does everything for that Fulham side. And I'm telling you, if it's not this summer or the season, like if after next season he doesn't move to a big team, I'll be very, very surprised. And I'm not saying Fulham aren't a big side, but I think PALHINHA could fit into... I'm trying to think if there's a top side in the Premier League that wouldn't benefit from having him. Maybe Man City don't need him, but I feel like every other side could definitely use him. I could see him going to Liverpool and absolutely smashing it. 20 million euros. He's worth at least 50 now. At least. And when you're doubling on a player that you've just signed, within one season, you know it's a good deal. But this next one, I think, in terms of value for money, is there a better signing than Gnonto? €4.5 million on a player that genuinely, at times, has been their best player. Maybe I'm being a little bit over the top there, but whenever I watch Leeds and whenever I watch Nonto down that left side, I just think, wow, 4.5 million. Just incredible. What a player he is. And again, I think, if Leeds go down, they're obviously going to have to sell a few players. Maybe Nonto isn't one of them because the outlay wasn't too expensive. I mean, 4.5 million, you don't really see transfers for that kind of money in the Premier League. You just don't. That's a League One, a Championship big signing, but it's unbelievable what he's been able to do for Leeds. And I know he hasn't scored a crazy amount of goals or contributed a crazy amount of assists, but when you talk about quality, what they bring to a team and the price, I don't think there's much better. €4.5 million, you probably couldn't sign him for 30 now. So in terms of getting money back on their investment, I don't think there's a better signing here. But the next player we're going to talk about is, for me, the best signing of the season. It's, of course, Erling Haaland, €60 million. How much is he worth now? 200? Maybe more? And I guess even then, you look at the Nonto deal and you're maybe ratio-wise making more from the Nonto deal in terms of him being, let's say he was 5 million and he's worth 50. It's 10 times the price. I don't think Haaland is quite that same, but it's ridiculous that Dortmund weren't able to get more out of that deal. I think there was a clause in the contract, so it enabled Man City to do it. And I know Bayern have recently said they went all out for Haaland. They went to the very edge of their financial limits, excuse me, to try and sign him. And they just couldn't get it done. City clearly paying a lot of money as maybe a signing bonus, but most importantly, his contract is probably astronomical. But what an investment. I mean, they're going to go on to win the league. I think that's fair to say, even though it hurts. And Haaland is a big reason why. They could win the treble. Haaland is a big reason why. He's broke every record you can think of. He scored the most goals in a 38-game season, and it's not even over yet. He is the best player this season, and he's the best signing this season. Truly remarkable. But he wasn't even the only good signing that City made that makes it into this list for me. I've got to talk about AKANJI as well. AKANJI, a player at Dortmund that I don't think many people rated that highly, but he's such an intelligent player. And the fact that he's come into this City side, he's played left back, right back, centre back. I think he's even drifted into midfield in some games. For less than €20 million, he's a starter. He has effectively replaced Laporte. What happened there? I don't understand how AKANJI has gone for so cheap when he's clearly such a good player. They must have seen something in him. Pep and his team saw something in AKANJI and they thought, right, we will beat every other team to it because clearly no one else saw it. €17.5 million for one of the best performing defenders this season is an absolute steal. One of the best signings for sure. And I don't think many people are going to be talking about him, which I think is really unfair. Up next, we've got our first goalkeeper, one of two goalkeepers. You can probably guess who they are, but the first one is Pope from Burnley to Newcastle for 11.5 million. There's no doubt that Newcastle have been one of the best teams this season. I almost said one of the surprises of the season, but I'm not that surprised, actually. They played so well towards the end of last season, but Pope, wow. You could talk about Botman, Trippier, you could talk about their defence as a whole, but honestly, Pope is up there as one of the best keepers in world football on his day, and he cost them €11.5 million. That's less than £10 million. I mean, good luck finding any goalkeeper as good as him for less than that. It's impossible. Absolutely impossible. And you know what? England are very lucky that we've got Pickford, Pope, and Ramsdale all going for that position. But yeah, Pope absolutely had to make it into this list. One of the best signings of this season for sure. But we do have another goalkeeper, and surely you guys know who's coming. It is, of course, Navas. PSG to Nottingham Forest for nothing. How? How has that happened? Absolutely incredible. And if Nottingham Forest stay up, which I think they might actually stay up now, we've got Nottingham Forest coming up. We're Arsenal playing them away from home soon. And I'm hoping we don't send them down if, for whatever reason, they can't win another game. But Navas is one of the big reasons that I think Nottingham Forest will stay up. And they've made so many signings. You know, I was going to mention Danilo, the player that was linked with Arsenal, funnily enough, and Niakate in defence, very, very good player. Morgan Gibbs-White. But Navas, for nothing, I guess he is the best signing money-wise, finances-wise. He is unbelievably good for that money, one of the most experienced players in the league. And we have one player left, guys, and that is LAVIA. Man City academy player. I don't think he ever played for the first team, but for 12.3 million, Southampton have picked up one of the best players this season in his position. For his age, I think he's going to go very, very far. There's a reason he was a Man City academy player. I have no idea why they've let him go. I've heard that they've got a clause in the contract which starts in 2024 where City can buy him back, but it'll be, I think it was close to 40 million. So I think Lavia is going to leave. I think Southampton, I mean, they're pretty much down already, right? I think they need to win every game, and even then, they're probably still going to go down. I think he's going to be one of the players that will leave. And he could probably go to any top 6 side as well. He's that good. I would love to see him at Arsenal. I think, you know, he could go back to City in 2024. Maybe he will. Maybe he'll end up at Chelsea. I know Chelsea almost tried to sign him, didn't they, in the first window. So get this, Lavia left City for Southampton, and within a few weeks, in the same window, Chelsea tried to buy him. Absolutely hilarious. But for me, Lavia is one of the most exciting players in that position. But of course, there's only one player that we have to talk about. This is the best signing of the season. You might disagree with me, you might not. But it's hard to argue that Haaland hasn't been the best player this season. He's just a robot. And thank you for sticking with me this week, guys. I know I haven't been posting, and this is all I can do. I'm already exhausted. I haven't really been talking the last few days, so my throat is just killing me now. But yeah, this cold/flu has just really kicked my ass. So I am going to go and relax. I might come back tomorrow and do the worst signings, and I think I'm just going to get back to career mode on Monday. But yeah, thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one. And it's going to be Richarlison, isn't it?